What's going on, guys? My name is Noah Cavanaugh. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. So today I have some game day quirks that I'm gonna run through with you guys. I'm gonna show you what is in my little DOP kit bag with all my equipment in it, everything that the club does not provide during game days. And then I'll run you through some music, some food, and then some taping routines that I have just to show you in anticipation for our first game this weekend. We start our preseason finally down here in Australia. We have about a month of preseason, so that's fantastic. And then we'll get into regular season starting July 4th. So this weekend, the 13th, I believe, on Saturday, I will have my first game at 3 p.m. at home. Super excited for it. Let's get into the video and I'll show you guys what I do on game day. Here we go. Alright guys, first things first, I want to talk about what's in my bag. Now, this is sort of one of those little string sack situations, except I wish Nike still put these with their boots. This was actually a pair of boots that I got back in 2010 or 2011. The Nike Tiempo Legend 3 or 4 Elites, whatever the World Cup was, and in that purple, silver color, and the orange came in these, and I thought these boot bags were just so fantastic. So inside my bag, I'll run you through a few things. A little bit of it's redundant just because I carry a lot of tape. So first item we're going to show is my shin guards, and these are C6 shin guards. They're carbon fiber ones made in the United States. They're obviously like super thin. They're carbon fiber, so they're incredibly light. They're actually lighter than some of the other shin guards I had. I switched over to these about a year and a half ago and have absolutely loved them. They're a lot larger than shin guards that I'm used to. I'm used to the ones that are the baby size, the little extra small Nike ones, but I actually prefer these because they cover more of my shins, which is fantastic for tackling as a defender. I'll actually show you guys my taping routine in a little bit. So that's item number 1. Item number 2 is these socks. So these are true socks. I actually have like 4 different brands worth of grip socks. These just happen to be the ones that are in my bag right now for this weekend. I prefer these just because they have grip elements on the inside and the outside. I think that's super important if you're looking at a sock that's going to help you have more grip inside the boot so it doesn't switch around. And that's like the base sock that I use for the taping routine. Next on that same vein is a pair of cutoff socks. So these are the black ones. I'm gonna demo with the black ones today. My guess is we'll wear white socks this weekend, so it'll be white on white, which is no problem. I only have white grip socks, so I have to cover my socks, these little tubes, with whatever color that we're wearing. So if I'm wearing a white sock up above, I have to wear white tape. If we're in our maroon red kit, then I have to wear maroon red tape. And obviously, depending on the team that I'm playing for, wherever that is, that color is gonna be changing as I'm taping my socks. Let's go item number 4, which is also kind of a clothing thing. These are Zensa is the company, and these are calf sleeves. So in the case that I feel super sore or I'm cramping, or even after the game, these are a great way to get the blood flowing. They're graduated compression, I believe they're called. So they're like this. They're super stretchy and they go right around your calf. It really helps. I actually wear these on planes a lot of the time. I'll wear like comfy shorts or something on long flights, wear these, and they work so well. So that is item number 4. And then the rest of this, other than Tiger Balm, which I think is absolutely magic. This is the red one or the yellow one or the orange one, whatever you want to call it. This is the really spicy kind, so when you smell it, it's got a really strong flavor. Yeah, it's amazing. Super addicting. I love this stuff. And basically what you do is you put this on any sort of trouble area. If you have sore muscles, if you're pulled a little bit, that's no problem. You stick this on and it relieves the pain while you're in a game. Obviously during preseason, I would probably never use this because I just pull myself out of the game and say, you know what, it's not worth it. It's preseason. During the regular season, that's a different story. So I actually used this a bunch in college because we played Saturday and Sunday. Absolute magic, and there's not much in here, but you really don't need that much. You only need like a pinky's worth. The rest of this, as you can see in here, is just tape. So I've got some kinesiology tape. I think this is a different brand, but it works the same. Just a big long, I think it's like 10 meters or something, so 30 feet for those of you in the US. And KT tape's great, again, for pulled muscles, reinforcing the joints around the knee and the back of the knee, sometimes in the ankle. Obviously, it's not the same as taping your ankle. So if you actually need support in your ankle, this does not do anything. This is basically what this does, is this lifts the skin a little bit off your muscles so that blood can flow more easily underneath and heal you faster. So that's a great idea. And then the rest of this is different forms of tape. So I've got this self-adhesive pre-wrap stuff in 2 different colors, because again, 3 different colors, I lied. This is kind of same. The 3 colors that we have, and then I have electrical tape, and you're probably wondering, what the hell is this guy doing with electrical tape for soccer? This is what I use for my shin guards because I think it sticks way better to my skin. Obviously classic, some pre-wrap. I've got some more electrical tape in the red color in case I'm feeling a little frisky that day. So that is what is in my bag. It doesn't really change that often, simply because this is what works for me. I carry enough for myself and several teammates. I don't usually share with other people, only because this is expensive tape and I have to get it from online, ship it to Australia, or when I was in Spain. In the US, it's a little easier to get because it's at some soccer stores. But that is what's in the bag, and I'm super excited to show you guys that because this is my bread and butter during game days. I mean, I'm carrying my boot bag and I'm carrying this, and that is about it, with street clothes plus sliding shorts that might go in here, but that is it. So that is my boot bag. Now, on to the next game day at work. So let's talk about food. So my pregame meal has changed over the course of my entire career. Back in high school, because we played right after school ended at 2:40, we played at 3:30 or something like that, so we had to go straight from school to the field. My lunchtime was around 1, so I'd have a protein bar, a banana, and a bagel with peanut butter and honey. That seemed to work for me in high school. I had the same meal basically sophomore, junior, and senior year, and that was the same meal that I did in academy and club when I was not during the high school season. The high school is a great example because I had to do it during school. It was something that I could pack up into a brown paper bag. Then in college, things sort of changed a little bit because we were away on trips. I didn't really have access to the food that I absolutely needed, but because we played at noon, we usually ate right around 8:30 or 9 in the morning, and we had breakfast at whatever hotel we were at. So for me, because I'm gluten and dairy free and allergic to both of those things, I usually had scrambled eggs, some orange juice, whatever fruit I could get a hold of, and then if I was really lucky, I'd bring a couple protein bars with me because that would give me a little extra carbs, or I'd drink a Gatorade or something prior to, which now it's not something that I do because as I'm getting older, I feel like Gatorade doesn't do what I need to for my body, which is totally fine. So for some of you it might work. For me, I prefer the low sugar stuff better. Then moving on to now the professional life. Obviously, I've played now in 3 or 4 different countries, so it totally depends. But what I've settled on, and this is something that I've gotten used to because I'm able to get all these ingredients basically in every country that I go to, is either rice or rice pasta. I found that gluten-free regular pasta is not, it's too heavy for my stomach, so I tend to do almost like an Asian style noodle, so something like pad thai noodles, not obviously with the sauces and everything, but that just like really simple rice noodle, like rice and water, that's all that's in there. Or I'll do actual rice or brown rice for my carbs, then I'll do some chicken breast or some sort of white meat. So if it's a fish, light fish, or if it's turkey, either of those 3 things are good. I don't like red meat before because it makes me, again, feel really heavy. The third thing is a banana. So it's usually just carbs, a little bit of protein, and then with that, I'm drinking some sort of electrolyte solution. Sometimes I have coconut water, sometimes I have the electrolyte solution hydrolyte that I drink here. So that's kind of it for the meal. Anyway, that is for food, and let's move on to music. All right guys, so for music for pregame, I want to preface this by saying that music has been a huge part of my life for a very long time. I played piano all throughout middle school and high school, and then sang in the choir and doing a cappella stuff, as well as like the bigger choir. So music has always been a really important piece of my life, and it sort of gets me in that mindset of, hey, it's game day. So a lot of these playlists actually that I use on Spotify are totally open to the public. I've made a ton of them. Just Noah Cavanaugh, my name. If you ever want to listen to some of these playlists, feel free to. They are on there. I'm adding to them constantly, making sure that they have the newest music or music from throwback stuff. So I'll go through a few of them that I use, during game day. There's a groovy hip hop playlist, which is great. It's a little more low-key hip hop vibes. Then there's Alele Bleu, which is the kind of the French national team saying that's a lot of like French hip hop, French rap music. I've got some Afro beats, which are really great for game day. And then the one that I'm using most right now is called Frio Pregame. And Frio is the abbreviation for the team that I play for, Fremantle City FC. So it's Frio Pregame. So if you want to find that playlist, great. Some of the artists that are on there: Meek Mill, Drake, Travis Scott, Stormzy, Bugsy Malone, 50 Cent, Jeezy, not G-Eazy, just Jeezy like Young Jeezy, but the older guy, Giggs, Block Boy, Eminem, Juice WRLD, Joyner Lucas, Logic, T.I., etc. So it's a lot more heavy hip hop and rap music, and that is what gets me amped up for the game. That also happens to be our team's playlist, so feel free to check it out. Let me know what you think down below. So meditation is the next thing that we're gonna talk about. So meditation for me is incredibly important because, and I will kind of say that it's not something that I sit and do for an hour before the game. I know a lot of people do visualization. That's something that I actually do during my post-game watching the film that we have. So I'll watch film, make notes about it, and then kind of close my eyes and mentally say, here's what it looks like from a third person perspective, or like God mode kind of thing. So you're looking down at the field. I can see what the movement is that I made either correctly or incorrectly. I should continue doing that, so I repeat it over and over in my head. So I've got it there, and then I go in and say, okay, what's first person look like? And I say, from first person standpoint, what should that movement look like with defenders, with my other teammates, obviously playing behind a winger, beside a center back, or a defensive mid, depending on my positioning during the game. Before the game though, when I'm in the locker room, I spend about 30 seconds to a minute reciting a mantra in my head, and that mantra is something to the effect of, I've put in the work outside of training, I've done every extra session that I possibly can, my body is in the best shape that I possibly can be right now, and my mind is strong and ready to go. And those four things, plus or minus one or two, is what helps me get in that game mode. It really, really helps me say to myself and reinforce, hey, I put in the work, because that for me is the biggest thing. I know some guys just can switch it on and off, but for me, it's all about acknowledging the work that I put in prior to that game. And so it's super important for me to say to myself, this is what I've done, this is what I want to do, and I'm gonna go execute it right now. And that has been absolutely game-changing for me in my career so far. All right, fam, so let's do some leg taping. So I'm gonna show you right now what I do. All I need is sock, shin guard, this tape, and then I've got some black tape that I'm gonna use as well. So I'll show you in a different view right now. So we'll throw on the grip sock quick. Perfect. There we go. Not too high, not too low. Fits great. Then we're gonna throw the shin guard, and because the shin guard is a lot longer, it's gonna go down over the sock there, and then I'm gonna tape 3 lines in that. So let's get this sorted. So we go top first, right there, bottom next, right there, middle, right there. So that way, hard, doesn't go move up and down. That's part of the reason actually why I shave my legs, is so that the tape sticks even if I'm sweaty. So that is also one of the reasons why I use the electrician's tape as opposed to something else that's maybe more traditional. Then we're gonna stick the sock over, and depending on the league you're playing in, some referees are more stickler about this. Because I'm playing in Australia, they seem to be not lax about it, but definitely a little more lax than the US and Spain both were. So usually my cleat will come right there, and then if I have a little bit of white, that's fine with a black sock, but usually what I like to do is I like to go like that, right down on the ankle bone, and then we turn it around like that, and cut the tape, and boom. So that's what that looks like. So got the shin guard on, and I like to actually have my socks above my knees because that's more comfortable for me. And then you have the grip sock, and then you have the black and the black. Now, you can kind of see obviously the color difference between these two. It's not really important that these are exactly the same black because that would be almost impossible with the tape and the sock. That being said, if you have white here or red here or purple or pink or something outrageous down there, and it doesn't match the sock that you're using, that's an issue. So you often see professional teams like, let's just Messi, for instance, he does the same taping routine, except his Barcelona socks are usually dark blue, and this tape is dark blue, and then you can see the little white strip of his under sock, whatever he's wearing under here, between his tape and the shoe. So that is what that looks like. Super, super simple. It's really quick. I can get it done in about 30 seconds now that I've done it so many times. And that is sort of a mental thing for me to get ready for the game. So that is sock taping. We're gonna talk about one last thing. I'm not actually gonna demo it for you because this is a very ritualistic thing for me, and it is wrist taping. So in a lot of the photos you might have seen on my Instagram page, I tape both wrists. So obviously I have a watch and a bracelet on right now, so you're not gonna see that, but I use pre-wrap, and then I use just this basic athletic tape that you might tape an ankle with, or a trainer might tape an ankle with. So this just helps the hair not absolutely get ripped off my wrist, although during season sometimes I don't have pre-wrap, so I just have to go with this, and I end up with this really funny bald spot around my wrist on both sides, so that's kind of funny. The way that this works for me is wrist taping is the moment, sort of like a boxer when he puts on his gloves. So for me, that's ready for war time, and that is the time that I take by myself with music, with whatever else is going on. I'm putting that tape on both wrists. Maybe I'm writing a note, maybe I'm writing the initials of somebody that I want to keep in mind or dedicate this performance to. Any and all of that is absolutely reasonable during the course of the season, but what that does is that triggers in my mind that nobody interrupts me, number one, during this process, and second of all, that is when I become this alter ego person that's that game mode Noah. Gets into the taping situation, and then we go from there. So once I've done taping, that is the last thing that I do. I've got my uniform on, I've got my socks taped up, I've got my shoes tied, everything's ready to go, and then it is game time. And that is what this whole process, this whole day looks like. So lucky for you guys, my next video will be in the day in the life vlog of our first game this coming Saturday. So I'm really excited to show you guys that as well. And hopefully we can get into more of the nuanced stuff during the day, how I pack my bag before the game, and getting mentally ready for that. So that is it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hope you enjoyed that little game day quirk list of things. If you have any questions about the materials that I use, the music that I listen to, or perhaps a meditation, if you guys want that, I'm happy to make a meditation video that's about a minute, minute and a half long that just walks you through what I say to myself before every game. That could be very helpful, so let me know down in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, guys, be awesome. Take care.